Here we go. Select. I lowered the volume again a bit. Hopefully that fixes the audio issue of it being loud. Oh my god, it's still loud on my end anyway. Okay. Oh, we got this room. What do we have to do now? No one really says. I feel like we got the basement, yeah. Okay, let's go back. Uh-oh, broken. That's some light, man. Oh shit. The monster actually is here now. The heck?
Let me go! I won't tell anyone, I swear! I just want to go home!
We're out of oil already.
No! Get away from me! Leave me alone!
No, I got my oil anyway. Somewhere. That sort of works. Sadly, cannot go much without this door. Let's go back up. That's downstairs.
You have an ascending room. Will it take us to the inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
Nice. Oh, it's locked up. Let's go up here, man. Crosshair is gone. There is the crosshair. Yes. Show the crosshair. What does commentary mean?
This is the second hub level of the game, and is supposed to give some contrast to the stressful lurker encounter. We think building up contrast like this is extremely important for the horror mood. Only by seeing a bright level can you appreciate the dark one, and so on. If you do not do this, player will get used to the stuff and the effect will lessen greatly.
Not creepy because you play glow in the dark. But you want me to check the theory?
Again, there's a lot of elements here working together. Not only does the player enter the darkest level yet, they'll also come up against a dark part of Daniel's memories. We've tried to have all aspects of the level work towards his goal.
Oh good, no.
Hopefully it creates an oppressive and disturbing field.
They can go anywhere while they're kind of... Finish, we're closing the doors.
There's a lot of elements here working together. Not only does the player enter the darkest level yet, they'll also come up against a dark part of Daniel's memories. We've tried to have all aspects of the level work towards this goal. Hopefully it creates an oppressive and disturbing field.
Well, that's like everything I need here.
In the original pitch, Herbert was a fairly important character, but it didn't really reflect in the games, so we tried a few different things to incorporate him, but it never really made any sense. Herbert was important to Daniel's background, but in the end he didn't have any impact on the story happening right now, that is, the conflict between Daniel and Alexander. So, most of his things was cut during the last stage of production.
Okay. Too much. Come on, get first.
My journal is gone. What do they want with my journal?
No wonder there's like to be just glowing stuff glow out. Like more than usually, you know? Let me see. Makes sense now. That's how
In this room, everything is connected to destruction and home. This was Daniel's home as Alexander's guest, and the diary entries are about Daniel being home in London and things falling apart.
Closer.
These sort of connections are not something that we want the player to get. Rather, it should end up in the subconscious and work toward building the mood. Also worth noting is this focus, as explained in the commentary of Winecellar, where I want the player's attention on a certain aspect. We hope this makes the story clearer. The idea
Daniel is a pretty complicated character to write for, as we didn't want the player to feel that they were losing control by having feelings imposed on them. After the amnesia kicks in, everything which is Daniel is essentially gone. The player is the new Daniel, and he should be able to act the way he pleases, and even reject his own background as he discovers it. That is why everything concerning Daniel is flashbacks. Even the diary entries are read as what is being told is happening right now. That is, it is the old Daniel telling the story, and not the player reading it.
When we create props, we usually have concept pictures or reference images to look at when modeling the object, just to make sure it stays within the art style that we are going for. When creating a chair, a table, or a bookcase, just to name a few, we usually have to plan the measurements before we get them into the game, because having something in the game that isn't the right size can break the immersion. But sometimes you have to cheat that and test it out, because the camera perspective can really trick you. I have the perfect example of the camera tricking you sometimes. Take out the lantern in-game and look at the wall or an object in the same height as the lantern and try guessing how big the lantern will be next to that object. Then walk up as close as you can to that object and compare. If you got a good example of this, you see that the hand and lantern is in fact very small, but it feels right when it's close to the camera. But we don't want to go on gut feeling on the measurements of every object. That could really get out of hand quickly, and a lot of things could feel out of place. So it's basically a matter of changing the scale if it feels weird. When modeling the prop, we try to make it as close as the reference images as we can.
If you listen to the music tracks more carefully, you may find that characters have their own musical themes, which can usually be heard when you read papers during.
3rd of July, 1839. Today I picked up Herbert's things at the customs house. I dug through the trove of May 17th, the day I was trapped inside the orb chamber. Herbert, I continued reading the peculiar text. His account confuses me greatly.
Mark, there's no way for him to... Mark, what, Dust?
This map was one of the most fun to make because the rooms have more objects than we usually add in the levels. I think the first 2 rooms was pretty good, just because of this. But we can't add this many objects in every room in the game, because that would, first of all, be very demanding on your piece's performance, and a lot of our players doesn't have gaming rigs. Secondly, it wouldn't make sense if every room or corridor was a storage. We also try very hard to vary the levels and rooms as much as we can do. This level was also the first time in the game the player had any contact with the outside. So for this part I had to make a couple of different wall pieces, a pine tree and a breakable version of the window. And I can talk a little bit more about the breakable window here. When creating breakable objects like this, we have to first of all break the model by splitting parts up and creating pieces. Like on this window, it has a lot of wood parts that are loose after it breaks. Those parts are remodeled into broken versions, and in the broken version of the window, they're actually hanging in the air at the same place they were when the window was whole. After modeling those and exporting the model into collab format, which our engine handles, I use our in-house model editor to set each wood part up with a body for collision, and I also add weight for it to behave realistically. I also add material type, in this case wood. And that is so that wood sound is played when the beats hit something. You can also set up more advanced stuff like how it will behave in water, how fast it can travel, and how fast the speed will decay. But also a lot of other settings as well. But when the broken version is done, I also set up a special entity of the original window where I set it to break at a certain force. And when that happens, another entity will load, and this one will disappear. And in this case, we will get the broken version of the window. We also set
Oh my god, you're still
to a
talking.
particle system with glass shards is going to be played as well as the break sound. And as soon as you break that window, and all that is happening, and since you probably threw something at the window, the force of that object will make the wood pieces slide, not fall straight to the ground as they would otherwise. That is pretty much how we do it with most breakable entities. But of course, creating a particle system and sounds for this is needed too. And in this level, you can also see a lot of props that I made earlier, before we started making maps. This is objects like shelves, tables, chairs, paintings, etc. But of course, I didn't make all the
Okay.
The decision to have the player go outside in this map started out as a quick and dirty idea for some sort of puzzle. However, it turned out very nicely, and to see the trees really gives a feeling of being in a castle and not just on some set. The first idea was not even to have the player break the window, and just have it open directly instead. But when we added it, we felt it gave a really nice feel and reward for finishing the puzzle. In retrospect, we should have had more moments when the player ventures outside, and it gives this feel of being a part of a larger world.
Let's see what you have to offer.
Wow.
What a mess. I should have sharpened the saw, but I can sense it. It's definitely there.
Doggies. Bro. Okay.
When I first started working on the elevator, I had detailed concept art as base on my work. This is both a blessing and a curse. Concept art saves a lot of time for us artists, as we just have to copy what we see in the picture, but it also takes away some fun parts of our work, as we don't have to design anything ourselves. In this case, the concept art was very detailed and there wasn't much to change. However, I noticed that the roof...
Just turn up. You guys next time.